today we're going to review once again the NAVFAC-wide enterprise as well as the local commands mission statements. So what we do, where we do it, and then review the workload that's coming up in the next year. In the room with me, but off camera, is most of the business line leaders in NAVFAC Midwest, and they'll be participating in the questions and answers session at the end of our time together. What we're going to get to as many questions as we can. Go ahead and post those in the chat room format, and although when we get to the question and answer period, the video will go off because we're going to rotate the responding person who's going to respond to different questions that come up. So with that, we'll go ahead and get started. So NAVFAC overall mission enterprise-wide is to be the systems command that delivers and maintains the quality of sustainable facilities, acquires and manages capabilities for the Navy's expeditionary combat forces, and provides contingency engineering responses and enables energy security and environmental stewardship. NAVFAC Midwest is involved in all of those items with the exception of we're not part of the acquired and managing capabilities for the Navy's expeditionary combat forces. The vision of NAVFAC is that we strengthen the Navy and Marine Corps' readiness through our work across the facility life cycle and our support of the shore expeditionary mission. NAVFAC Atlantic has 7 naval facilities engineering commands associated with the regions of Commander Naval Installations Command, and you can see from the graphic the areas of responsibility. Where NAVFAC Midwest is in the orange area, and we cover 16 states and have 4 public works departments to execute that work, and we'll get into more of the specifics of that in the follow-on slides. NAVFAC-wide, the workload had a surge in the 2007 through 10 period. A lot of that was driven by the growth in work out in the Pacific as we move or plan do the preparatory functions to move Marines from Okinawa to Guam, as well as the Grow the Force program with the Marine Corps, where the Marine Corps has authorized additional Marines into their force, and it's the barracks, chow halls, and other facilities to operate and maintain them. NAVFAC is also the executive agent was the executive agent for about $2 billion worth of O&M funds and the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act. Those projects have now finished up. There was also a surge in the type of money called overseas contingency operations, and again, most of that money is on decline. So we're basically returning to the steady state levels that we had seen prior to those surge activities. In NAVFAC Midwest, we're also coming off of that surge. We had some MILCON surge as we recapitalized part of the boot camp training program, but we're kind of coming down to our historical norms as well. So both in capital improvements and in public works, we are declining in both of those categories from 11 into 12, and 13 is relatively similar to our 11 numbers. Environmental services is about the same as is the asset management. So another take on the Midwest area of responsibility. The bulk of our work is accomplished at three installations. That's at Naval Station Great Lakes, Naval Support Activity Crane, Indiana, and Naval Support Activity Midwest in Millington, Tennessee. Those are the 3 stars kind of running along the Mississippi there. We also do have a presence out at a Tinker Air Force Base. There's a portion of the Air Force Base that the Navy has the ownership of, but we do not have a permanent public works department at that location. So we have 3 public works departments to handle 3 primary installations in our area of responsibility. And then we also have an additional Public Works Department we refer to as Central, which handles all of the reserve centers sprinkled across the states. There's 32 reserve centers, and those are indicated with the blue diamonds and the yellow circles. So we have about 950 employees as part of the command and do a general business of about $330 million per year. NAVFAC Midwest is also the planning and pre-award, does the planning and pre-award functions for the Marine Reserve Centers throughout the United States. So even though some of, and then it's kind of a mixed bag as to whether the post-award construction is executed through our teams or the normal associated regional Naval Facilities Engineering Commands in the other areas. So this graphic shows the locations of those reserve centers, and the briefing will later on go into the workload associated with that. So we've touched on some of this already. We have 4 public works departments within the organization for Great Lakes, Illinois, Crane, Indiana, Mid-South, located in Millington, Tennessee, which is just outside of Memphis, as well as Public Works Department Central, which handles the reserve centers, Tinker Air Force, our portion of Tinker Air Force Base, and the reserve centers, the Marine Corps reserve centers. Also, in the NAVFAC Midwest core team, we also have an integrated product team, which does supports all activities within our area of responsibility and primarily does the pre-award contracting functions for in support of the Public Works departments. Also in the cores are business and support lines, which is consistent with how other NAVFAC commands are organized, where we have capital improvements, public works, environmental, asset management, small contingency engineering team, acquisition, financial management, and our internal information systems and council. NAVFAC-wide, it's our intent to award 75% of the projects with the design-build format. We are always pushing for zero safety accidents, and we do that through proactive involvement and holding people accountable for actions taken. We also have a goal of zero unplanned cost and schedule growth, and approach the furnishings as a turnkey approach. We have LEED Silver built into all of our MILCON programs, and are also implementing the low impact development criteria into our designs. We also have specific Department of Defense small business goals, and we always strive to meet those goals as well. So the first thing I'm going to talk about from a workload standpoint is on those projects associated with our integrated product team. So again, these are the projects that are typically over $500,000. We have 5 MILCONs in the pipeline and 10 special projects. And our integrated product team leader is Lieutenant Commander Jason Lockhart, and his contacts there. We're going to go into more specifics here in the next few slides. So this is our MILCON program for NAVFAC Midwest. The projects that are in yellow have already been awarded. The ones in white are those that are coming up in the next couple, either soon or in the next couple of years. And so, I'm sorry, I got myself one slide ahead. There is one correction on the slide. The Reserve Training Center facility at Yuma, Arizona is currently designated as a design-build project, although in fairness in advertising, we are considering the design-build option on that project. So that's still being evaluated. And the tools, these say standalones. That just means that we're going with a standalone contracting action. We evaluate each of these as they get closer to award as to whether we go with small business or full and open competition. Some more specifics on this, about $66 million in the program. As I stated, 4 projects design build, 1 design bid build, and the 8A max are projects associated with energy projects and some demo projects that are coming out that actually aren't part of the MILCON program. And this is the slide shows where the program allocation is, which is only one here at the Naval Station Great Lakes, and then the rest are spread out among our other locations. Reviewing some of the projects that we've done recently or awarded recently, they're still active projects. The Naval Operations Support Center, this is very typical of what we do in support of the Navy Reserves throughout the area of responsibility. New facility, standalone, incorporates all of the requirements for the center into one facility. Here at Great Lakes, the Navy has divested the hospital training function out of the Navy facility, and so we're in the process of demolishing the old hospital. One of our energy conservation initiatives is Project P816, which is decentralization of the steam systems, which over the course of a couple of years will give us package units in most of our facilities and remove our central steam power plant. So another recap of future MILCON possibilities. And a specific breakout of the MAR4 RES program. These tend to be smaller dollar values, and they're geographically dispersed. So the typical acquisition approach, this is both NAVFAC-wide as well as directly applicable to NAVFAC Midwest. We do full and open competition. The only time that we don't do that is for those, well, it's still full and open competition, but we do also aggressively pursue small business opportunities, both general 8As as well as the subcategories. We do have multiple award construction contracts. When we do that, we have as many as 6 contractors selected. Sometimes those, in turn, are set-asides for small business opportunities. We also have indefinite delivery, indefinite quantities for both our A&Es and our construction contracts. Typical things for the construction contracts are paving, fencing, roofing, and utility distribution systems. And then we do have facility support contracts as well. In our design acquisition planning, we do evaluate each project as it comes through as to the need for us to do in-house design work. We maintain core competency through selecting projects that give us the opportunity to exercise our engineering skills. We generally approach larger projects over $30 million for full and open competition, and those projects under $30 million for our MAC tools. And then for those projects under $15 million, that's where we typically look for small business opportunities. And then as each project we get closer to actually implementing or executing the project, that's when we get into the specifics of whether the project's complexity or specific design control requires some variance to those general approaches. Sometimes our supported commands, our clients ask for a specific design bid build format to allow them better visibility of the requirements, how the requirements are getting incorporated into their designs. And so also from an acquisition strategy standpoint, sometimes we evaluate whether there's a particular opportunity for example, a hub zone or veteran-owned. We do market research and we determine where those opportunities can best be met. From time to time, we do go into our have capacity and scope issues with our MAC vehicles. And so these are all examples of when we would go away from those broad guidelines listed at the top of the slide. So Public Works Energy Program, energy initiatives are very high profile within the Navy and within NAVFAC Midwest. We do that through a variety of tools. We have the Energy Conservation Investment Program. We do not have any local projects funded through that mechanism, but we do submit for those each year, and so stay tuned to whether we're successful in the next cycle. We do pursue finance energy projects, and we are active in the energy savings performance contracts with the energy service companies, and we are also pursuing utility energy serving contracts with other utility-sponsored programs. Some of our routine operation and maintenance Navy money is also earmarked for energy projects, and we aggressively pursue funding through for that funding stream as well. Environmental opportunities, we average about $6 million using the CLEAN, BRAC, and EMAC tools. Most of these contracting tools are managed out of NAVFAC Atlantic, and we issue task orders off of those. So the compliance program is averaging about $1.2 million, and the environmental planning is averaging about $900,000 per year. So this metric just kind of tells you the contract type and typical volume of work that we've been doing, and gives you points of contact if you have further questions about supporting us in our environmental contracts. Asset management, doing the planning, special studies, data management, project development. We also do encroachment studies, real estate actions, and are leveraging 2 local 5-year IDIQ planning contracts where we order off of the NAVFAC Atlantic contracts. So in summary, the next couple of years are relatively lean for our MILCON and special projects. Our sustainment funding is coming down off of our FY11 and even our FY12 levels. We do have the 5 MILCONs funded in our 13 program and 10 special projects, or $500,000 in 13. And we do expect energy conservation initiatives to increase. It still comes out of the ST funding stream that we get. It's simply earmarked for energy initiatives. We do have recurring opportunities in our facility maintenance and repair work, our facility services, our environmental restoration planning and compliance. as well as our basically the consistent volume of work in our master and regional integration plans. So with that, we're going to transition into questions and answers. My sense is that I may have gone a little too fast through those slides. So again, if you have questions, post them in the chat section. And so give us a couple minutes to do the electronic stuff here. We're going to mute for a minute and then come back and do the question and answer session. Word again. I think we're set. We have 3 or 4 questions. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to turn it over to the subject matter experts, and they'll introduce themselves, read the question, and provide the response.
Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Blaine Kirsch. I'm with the Capital Improvements IPT Midwest team leader for capital improvements. And the first question was asked is, does the IFB RFP date listed for the 2-step proposal refer to the issue of the Phase 1 or the Phase 2? That is for the Phase 2, the technical requirements. So the IFB RFP issue date is the Phase 2 date. Moving on, that's right here. The second question we have is, when do you plan to select a winner for your A&E contract that were due this past March? We're on track to award in time when the current A&E expires August of 14. So we will have a new A&E selected before that. That's the timeline we're working towards. The next question is, are you planning to solicit any other A&E contracts? Not at this time. That's the answer for that. And then, you want to introduce?
This is Commander Joel Sensenig, the Operations Officer for the FEC. The final question that we have on the list here, and there's still time to submit more, so I encourage you to do that. But the final question here is, when Midwest executes a project in a geographically remote area, the example given is Kaneohe and Brooklyn, how much interface is there with the local FEC during pre-award, and is the post-award downloaded the local ROIC FIAD? The local ROIC FIAD is downloaded, the execution part of the project. There is a lot of FEC coordination on these. Obviously, there's time, distance requirements to overcome in many cases, and this is one of the kind of the new things that that NAVFAC is doing, and PWD Central is kind of has been on the lead for this to be able to capture project acquisition around the world for Marine Forces Reserve, and in this case with Kaneohe, I believe Brooklyn as well has been able to do that. So we continue to work this, but we do have to leverage NAVFAC as a whole to get this done.
So this is Captain Worden again. Those were the only questions that we received during the presentation, but if you have additional questions, go ahead and post them within the chat. I think the chat stays on for a little while, and we will post both the questions we have in hand right now, as well as any additional ones that come in. They get posted to the same website, and I think they'll be posted for approximately 30 days. Okay, sorry for that pause. Basically, as we leave today's webinar, you will be prompted by a brief questionnaire, and we would appreciate your time if you could provide us feedback regarding this year's event and the format that we're using. So let me pause for 1 second just to see if there's any comments from the room, any technical things I should. Okay, not having heard any additional input. Okay. Hang on just 1 second. We've got another question that's come in. We're going to see if we're able to answer it.
You said on this.
I'll repeat the question, and that is, what is the status of the current A&E engineering idea queue selection? We plan on awarding the current contract, or the new A&E to have in place when the current one comes offline in August of 14. So the new selection will be made before that.
Hello, my name is Kevin Cornett. I'm Public Works Business Line Coordinator, and the question is, do you have any energy efficiency projects planned, either USEC or ESPC projects? The answer is yes. We have what we deem, or what we're calling ESPC Phase 2 here at Great Lakes, which addresses several energy projects at various buildings throughout the installation. And the follow-on was that other than the Great Lakes Steam project. So the answer is with just one ESPC Phase 2 project that's in the hopper.
Okay. All right, so we're going to try to advance the slide deck one more slide to just provide some technical, there we go. And so again, thank you for participating. And that concludes the live portion of the webinar.